Thank you very much, Dr. Tauchnitz. Thank you very much for presenting Yokogawa. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Takashi Nishijima. I am the President and CEO of Yokogawa. It's very exciting for me to present our vision today, and I am exceptionally pleased to have this opportunity. We are very proud and feel extremely honored to have been chosen as the sponsor for the NAMUR AGM here. When I started my studies in Japan at a scientific university, we had to actually study a second foreign language. At that time, I chose German because the course was given by an extremely beautiful German lady. So you have to believe me that I did work very, very hard for 2 years, but that's 40 years ago nearly. So I'm sure you will have commiseration with me that I will continue in English.
Today's world is confronted with drastic and accelerating changes. On the one hand, we have an increasing world population that is causing shortage of energy, water, and food resources, as well as global climate change. And on the other hand, there have been advances in information technology that have made people's lives more convenient. At the same time, we face new challenges, such as volatile and difficult to predict societal and global economic shifts, the rising threat of cyber attacks. Through their business activities, companies are being asked to engage in the sustainable creation of value and thereby help to address such challenges. The material industry, especially the chemical industry, has been able to create new value through innovation, and it's thereby contributing in addressing some of these challenges. Chemical fertilizers have increased agriculture yield and satisfy the increasing demand for food. And technologies for mass production of petrochemicals have helped meet the demand spread by the boom in mass consumption. The development of specialty chemicals has been creating new value for many, many industries. In consideration of your successes to date and your ability to develop, innovate new technologies, we strongly believe that you will continue to create new value. The business environment today is increasingly complex as a result of advances in information technology and also globalization. And if we are unable to change our mindset and adapt new practices, we will find it difficult to bring about new innovation. In addition, as market needs grow ever more diversified and sophisticated, and markets become more competitive, companies will need to keep creating new value if they wish to retain a competitive advantage. It is generally said that there are two important ways in which value is created in the manufacturing industry: through the creation of new products and services, through innovation in production processes. Even with production processes in the chemical industry, new challenges have arisen as a result of increased complexity in supply chains that can be attributed to the globalization and restructuring of business operations. As demand in each region is in flux, and opportunities for the development of new businesses are always arising, it has become important for companies to be the first to deploy new technologies in production processes that will enable the contribution of cross-border supply chains. Plants must also increasingly deal with variations in the quality of raw materials and be capable of remote operation. What is more, with the recent trend toward open technology, there is an increasing need to ensure overall optimization and ease of maintenance when connecting systems and working with different vendors. So what must be done to continually come up with new innovations in an era of mega competition? As it is difficult for any one individual, company, or other organization to accomplish things on its own. We assign great importance to co-creation through parties that have a wealth of experience and high-level expertise. There is no limit to what can be achieved when you bring together different cultures, different industries, and different companies, and strive for convergence between operational technology and information technology. Working with partners in an environment based on trust, we aim through the bringing together of unique knowledge and expertise to co-create. We call this co-innovation. Yokogawa puts great emphasis on the co-creation of new solutions, not only for its customers' production processes, but also for their overall business and supply chains. Our aim is to help them improve their business performance. Throughout Yokogawa's 100-year history, we have not only listened to our customers and sought to meet their changing needs, we have and challenged ourselves at different points to achieve a complete transformation in our business. Yokogawa will continue to seek out challenges to achieve co-innovation. As an example of how we have been engaging in co-innovation to benefit society, let me introduce our Smart Community initiative in Japan. In a smart community, companies that operate different kinds of plants and factories come from different industries and have differing interests come together with shared objectives of increasing energy efficiency and improving their disaster readiness. With the cooperation of the companies in the community, Yokogawa constructed a community energy management system that predicts energy demand and optimizes energy supply for the entire community. This is based on an innovative Toyota Motor Corporation initiative that seeks to increase energy efficiency for entire communities, not just individual plants. Compared with the prediction of energy demand for houses and office buildings, such predictions are more difficult with plants and facilities due to their complex shifts in demand. In addition, there is a need to protect the confidential data about operations at these facilities. Despite all these challenges, Yokogawa succeeded through co-innovation with these companies and the use of industrial IoT technology in implementing an optimal energy managing system while protecting the confidentiality of critical plant data such as production schedules or cost-related data. We were able to eventually to help these customers achieve a 20% reduction in their energy costs. It would have been impossible to achieve this without the collaboration of the companies in this community. As some of you may recall, at the NAMUR General Meeting in 2005, we made the statement that a well-managed plant looks silent and boring. The ideal plant is safe, secure, and has high availability. We have been making a collective effort with our customers to realize this ideal. Over the years that we have been doing business, we have noticed certain customer concerns across every industry and have arranged them in 4 categories: safety and security, and availability and reliability are the keys for building mission-critical systems. With efficiency, the aim is to make businesses more competitive by improving efficiency and optimizing operations. Human reliability is all about maintaining and improving capabilities and engaging in the transfer of knowledge and know-how. Of these 4 concerns, safety and security, and availability and reliability are the most important, and we are committed to the development of products and services that address these concerns. We also are committed to providing cutting-edge solutions and utilizing the extensive knowledge that we have gained through our years of experience in covering many different industries to take on any new challenges that might appear in a volatile business environment. I am very proud today to have been given the opportunity to speak about Yokogawa's vision with you, the members of NAMUR. We greatly value our long-term relationship with you, the members of NAMUR, and we will continue work on your behalf based on our new corporate brand slogan, called Innovating Tomorrow. Now I would like to hand things over to Andreas. He will go into detail about specific challenges faced by the chemical industry, and he introduced the unique solutions that Yokogawa can present. Thank you very much for your attention.
So,
and we repeat, a well-managed plant looks silent and boring. This was what Peter Drucker said, and that was the statement made 11 years ago at the end of the Yokogawa keynote speech at that time. What do you think? Is this still true today? Does it really that way that everything has to be silent? Well, let me broaden the time horizon to answer this question. The history of industrial chemistry began at a time when there wasn't much talk about automation at all. At that time, manual skills were what were needed in production. We had shovels for powder and vats for liquids. And this stayed the same basically far into the 20th century. Over time, process know-how increased and more and better data became available. Complexity and market demands grew, but the productivity of the process industries also grew enormously. And grew so much so that we have the giant continuous integrated production facilities nowadays. But these discontinuous processes require more than just an agitated vessel, and particularly when you aim to produce individualized products. The basic requirements that you as plant owners have still remain. Production has to be safe, reliable, and efficient, and the operating personnel must understand the processes, master them, and be able to control them as well as possible. To achieve this, we need more than highly developed process technology, more than tanks and pipes. We need more powerful sensors, actuators, electrics, electronics, and information and communication networks, all of which have become indispensable today in plants and businesses and in other areas as well. In the future, pure software-based solutions will continue to grow in significance. But let's take things step by step. Since our first control system came on the market in 1975, automation has continued to grow and become more flexible over the years. Increasing amounts of data have passed through bus systems, and there have been various generations of IT components, from Unix to Windows NT, and in the future, Windows 10. During this time, Yokogawa has never made any compromises in terms of safety, reliability, and performance. Instead, we were, and still are, pioneers of technological development. Proof of this is demonstrated by a control system that has been developed continuously and yet is still fully backwards compatible after all those decades. That is a safe investment for owners. We have a control system that is scalable from a few hundred to 1 million tags, which gives you future proofing. And we have an availability in hardware and software that is unique on the market. That gives you dependability. And the first fully integrated safety instrumented system anywhere in the world. So you have information transparency. The last point is quite controversial, actually. Not everybody here in the room is really a fan of integrated but separately functioning safety. But nevertheless, we are on an equal footing with the previous #1, and we're still growing strongly. For Yokogawa, the combination of a control system and safety instrumented system is still at the heart of automation in the process industry. Yokogawa has successfully completed about 40,000 system projects. That's about 2.7 projects per day. Not in Germany yet, but that's worldwide figure. And we will continue to pursue this continuity route because we're absolutely convinced of its benefit for customers. But even with continuity, some things have changed. The structure of automation systems in the process industry, which you could actually call a landscape to a certain extent, all of that continues to develop and is expanding. And this is driven by the pursuit of ever greater efficiency, productivity, and profitability. And it is particularly true now that we are on the threshold of a genuine revolution. Industry 4.0 and the Internet of Things are bringing all this to us. Drivers, efficiency, and putting things on a more efficient footing. So Industry 4.0 and the Internet of Things. Those are the two basic keys. Automation starts right in the production process, in the field, and the control room. And that's where the heart of the business beats. And it's also one of our core competencies. Reliability has as a top priority here, and that must be maintained in the wake of Industry 4.0. The advance of automation has opened up further potential. Plant asset management and advanced process control are just a few of the key words here. We call it plant-level MES. But the individual production facilities are already integrated into complex IT and control networks. Automation technology makes it possible to implement economically attractive production and business workflows. And development goes on. Data integration across plants, across sites, companies, and whole value chains will bring even greater flexibility and efficiency in the future. Remote connection of development and service partners also plays a part in this. With Industry 4.0, there will be a closer contact generated between what your customers want and what the production requirements are. There will be new procedures and new business models. They will all evolve. And we'll be hearing more about this from San later on. When data volumes are increasingly processed, then the automation pyramid that we know so well begins to reach its limits. But this shouldn't worry us because it's a model, and models have their own limited useful life. If we are going to put Industry 4.0 into practice in the process industry, we need open, flexible, and modular structures, but without compromising in any way on safety. For the rest of this speech, I'd like to put this on 3 different levels here. The first one is flexible automation, which you can expect for us. Then the next level is customized solutions, which is the subject of our meeting today. And then around Yokogawa's comprehensive range of services, service where, when, and however you need it. So let's start with the process control systems, the core competencies. The clocks sometimes tick more slowly than in the IT world here, but time does not stand still either. ExxonMobil recently presented the vision of a fully open automation concept, looking at coexistence of hardware and software in one automated approach here, real plug and play. Operation and monitoring from vendor A and process and control systems from vendor B. How exactly to approach this systematically will be brought to you by Mr. Klettner and Dr. Tautnis after the break, and we'll be looking at the open architecture there. Our first step in this direction is a fully open bus architecture. That's not exactly what ExxonMobil wants, but it's our first concrete step in this direction, and it is already bringing advantages as well. The central component is an internet-based, redundant, capable bus where various protocols and field devices can be attached. The bus system has 3 separate channels. One is for process and safety instrumented control. The second is for any types of I/O signals. And the third one is an open channel for everything else, sensors, actuators, or whatever else you have in the industrial IoT. For communication between control systems and safety systems, we have our VNet IP in accordance with the IEC standard, particularly to enable the data traffic to be completely separated from the safety instrumented system and the control system. A security server or safety server monitors and controls the communication between the individual bus channels. And at the same time, it ensures that these do not interfere with business critical components. Absolutely no interference. More optional subsystems can be integrated via OPC UA or other alternatives. This is supported by dedicated servers for operation, production, and asset management. The I/O assemblies can now be connected directly to the bus. All controllers can access the same process and same process value directly, and that ensures that hierarchies are flat. And it also ensures multi-directional data exchange. Package units and internet-supported services can also use this open channel. All of that gives you the flexibility and future-proofing that you need, with no detrimental effects when it comes to reliability and safety. Well, it sounds complex. So who's going to engineer all this? And who's going to bear the responsibility? Well, you, of course. But we'll be there to help you. With our automation design suite, we call it AD Suite for short, we've launched a universal engineering tool in 2015 and are continuing to develop this incrementally. Because open architecture can only be achieved with an integrated engineering platform. The AD Suite is a modular one. Its capabilities extend far beyond module and bulk engineering. You'll be surprised about all the things you'll be able to engineer with it. We have modules for automation of documentation and change management, and that makes your daily work easier. So the term as-built loses its meaning because nothing is ever as-built anymore. Everything is always updated to the latest status at any time. Data can be exchanged in both directions with the CAE system, either conventionally using I/O lists, or it can be done with AML files in accordance with NE 150. Applications can be produced easily through combining class modules and design information. There's a central module library, which, for example, can be in a private cloud, although it doesn't have to, and that simplifies standardized design of automation systems. Whole applications can be applied to other identical subplants without any modification, but if there are subsequent changes, they can be distributed to all subplants simultaneously and in identical form at the click of a mouse. This makes engineering and especially re-engineering simpler over the life cycle of a system and helps to avoid errors. Develop it once, use it multiple times. It's clear that this makes for greater efficiency. And for a proof of concept, experts from Air Liquide and Yokogawa will give you examples in a workshop later. The AD Suite also encompasses modular automation because it allows automated exchange of data by design. The typicals that are defined there already largely map the structure of the MTP containers defined by NAMUR. In the exhibition, we demonstrate how automation information from package units is moved simply and directly via the module type package into the AD Suite. This makes the AD Suite the only tool that you need for all automation engineering, even in the age of IoT. End-to-end data concepts, as I've just presented them for engineering, also offer advantages for plant operation. They allow sub-processes and process management as a whole to be recorded, monitored, and optimized. This not only requires our expertise in the field of automation technology, but it also needs your own in-depth knowledge of your processes. But what makes Yokogawa outstanding here is how we use established methodology with real creativity for problem-oriented solutions. And I brought 3 examples that I'd like to tell you about here. Let me start with an operator assistance system, which is actually a simple MES functionality. The basis for any successful production is having repeatable workflows, consistent quality, etc. That might sound trivial at the beginning. Everybody wants that. But let me explain, for batch systems in particular, perhaps in older installations, possibly with work steps that are either not or only partially automated, this is not trivial at all. In this particular case, reproducibility across teams of operator sites and regions in the world, I nearly said world religions, but I mean regions in the world, this can become a real challenge across cultures as well. But Yokogawa implemented Asian manufacturer of electronics, chemicals, an assistance system based on sequences and logical checks. And this can be easily configured and implemented. Filling a tank is shown here. At a glance, you can see exactly where you are in the overall process, which sub-process and which sub-step is being processed at any particular moment. The detailed instructions for each step, the appropriate requests to enter data, and the respective confirmation of successful implementation or a logical check prevent errors and also prevent anything being forgotten. The operating logic is implemented here globally and across cultures. Our exhibition outside also shows an interactive demonstration of this application, so you can try it out for yourselves. Best practices as the quintessence of the owner's experience are the basis of such sequences. Using the assistance system, you can also transfer these between business establishments, and the work processes are documented precisely and with complete traceability, including all the manual steps. The result is excellence and consistent product quality thanks to a simple and easy-to-maintain software solution, an intuitive one. So you have established methodology, but implemented in with problem-oriented creativity. But that's not everything. Moving from batch control to high-volume continuous processes, that's where you tend to show your strengths. But you'll probably say that's old hat, you think, and so complex. But things are different with a platform for advanced control and estimation. This is something we developed together with Shell. The new platform allows APC control diagrams to be provided quickly because it makes all the time-consuming tasks, such as handling interlogic logic and sequence analysis, superfluous. The control quality and the robustness are increased, and all this helps to achieve acceptance among the operating personnel. In addition to this, you can reduce the time required to commission the controller, and during the operating phase, you can benefit from extensive simulation options. And that means that it is possible to implement model predictive control without the fear that it once had. Such dynamic and model-based procedures have been widely used in the process industry for a long time. In contrast, although statistical controls, let's call them big data, right data, smart data, have also been known for decades, to date they have not gained a firm foothold in the process environment. Not really to date. But we think this is wrong because process knowledge is gained here from available process data. It has to be generated there. This is an example from the operations of a Japanese producer, a special polymerization process, and it had a habit of deviating from the normal reaction pathway. But when did that actually start? Do you see that in the temperature curves here? If you don't, then you run the risk of having to perform an emergency stop. Early indications of such a shutdown can't actually be derived from the elementary measured values. But you know that yourselves. You're at the doctor's, and you're not feeling very well. The doctor takes a blood sample and looks at that. It says your blood values are all okay, but you still don't feel much better. So moving back to the process controls, if we look at the signals here, looking at multivariate statistics and considering big data, it has been possible to check all the parameters and identify them with the operating team. What Yokogawa uses to do this is the Mahalanobis distance, the MD, and the higher the MD, the poorer the correlation and the greater the deviation from the normal state of the process conditions. Let's look at the MD trend here. Everything's more or less in the green phase, but then when the MD, this parameter, rises above a predefined limit, long before the trend curves of the process give grounds for suspecting a critical event. In this case, with 5 hours in advance, it is possible to actually send out a warning that some anomaly is happening. In the past, there were only a few minutes of warning of this, but the operating team now has enough time to actually act. And this is an impressive example of co-innovating. When you have the right data and a specific process knowledge and the experience in handling the tools, that makes it possible for the operating team to respond proactively with software solutions, but also using more and better sensors, as you will be able to see in the exhibition. We're only a step away from intelligent, self-controlling and optimizing plant, at least in certain areas. To be able to actually exploit all this potential, we not only provide the tools, but the services to accompany this, and we provide our experience from numerous projects to be able to help you to do this. This consultancy service is a cornerstone of what we provide, and that brings me to the last of the key points I wanted to raise, the way we bring our solutions to you. First of all, we have to have the products and the services, but it doesn't become your solution until it's tailored to your requirements. And this is based on the services from our Global Response Center in Japan, together with a global network of 10 regional response centers, and we have more than 200 service offers in over 80 countries, 2,000 service engineers, and they work around the clock. But Yokogawa service is not just maintenance and troubleshooting. Our spectrum of life cycle services ensures that automation provides the maximum possible benefits. That starts with planning and concept design of the services. It also includes plant asset and safety management and a modernization strategy. As a single point of contact, we are the people to speak to in all matters relating to automation. Remote services have been a part of our offering from the global network for a long time. That not only includes communication with our response centers, we also automatically monitor customer systems around the world, calculate and visualize security KPIs, and we record the automation status of global production networks in real time. 24/7 means that we can provide the operating team with assistance and advice in the event of unforeseen events, and we can also intervene ourselves without losing any time by having to travel to the site. This allows us to cover all levels of remote operation in accordance with NE 161. For the customer, this means more plant uptime and availability, less loss of production, and overall optimization of costs. In the exhibition upstairs, we'll be demonstrating remote maintenance and remote FET for you. And during the coffee break, you can also view a Yokogawa control system in Singapore virtually. But we also see great potential to improve maintenance and servicing on site in the factory. Assistance systems can help here. And from everyday life, we already know that visual impressions are being enriched with additional information. That's called augmented reality. We all know that. From soccer matches on TV, you can see a goal, and that's superimposed. The distance to the goal, for instance. Yokogawa has used AR for a long time in mobile solutions, and this was trialed successfully. The maintenance tasks are simplified and accelerated. Features such as reliable identification of devices prevent faults with serious consequences. And to do this, we don't need the completely virtual world of smart glasses. It's enough just to make supplementary information easily accessible on site. For example, when looking at a valve, you can see the diagnostic information, the maintenance interval, maintenance requirements, and spare parts availability, or the state of the piping. You can see that exactly for each pipe where your field device is installed. And you have the sensor there where you can actually point your camera to. Well, this is not a sort of Pokemon game, but it looks a bit like augmented reality in the process control world. But augmented reality brings us greater efficiency and also ease of interaction. It also offers tremendous potential for cost saving. For example, if you can provide evidence that the time required for service assignments can be reduced to half, and we're using fairly simple means to achieve great savings here. Examples from the oil and gas industry are proof that very much more is possible remotely than we've achieved to date in the chemical industry. There are many drivers for these solutions: the high costs of deploying personnel, and then on offshore or oil platforms, it's expensive to fly people in and out. And then we have unjustified continuous presence of highly qualified personnel to monitor automated processes at decentralized sites. And a project that we implemented in the Gulf of Mexico as long ago as 2007 demonstrates that things can be different. This involved operating offshore oil platforms in the Gulf of Mexico via remote assisted operation. It's not quite remote operation, but it's assisted. And we were doing this from New Orleans, which is about 1,000 kilometers away. If required, the experts can provide support by sending a very small team to the platform itself, but only if needed. And information from augmented reality systems is extremely helpful for these on-site terms, because the operator himself is always in a plant which he has never seen before, so he needs more information than has been given to him up until now in the past. One genuine example here of remote operation, as defined by NE 161, is the operation of gas production storage at NAM, a joint venture between Shell and ExxonMobil in the Netherlands. In the support center in Groningen, a complex, extensive network of facilities, which includes 30 unmanned, fully automated stations, and that is automated using one single control system, which manages 1 million tags. Experts from NAM and Yokogawa work hand in hand in the Groningen Center. The average workload of the operators in this DCS application is only about 6 alarms per hour, in spite of the highly dynamic tasks. The process, alarm, and event information is available throughout the company, and together with the data from the ERP system, it forms the basis for condition-based maintenance and operational excellence. John Hofland from Shell and Dr. Michael Kraus from BASF will be giving you a joint presentation later and tell you more about remote operation based on this particular example. All of these remote applications would be unsinkable if we did not have a high degree of IT security. And this applies even more if process automation and process management is going to benefit from open data exchange and the Internet of Things in the future. Automation security is a specific instance of IT security and also the prerequisite for functional security. I'll repeat that: IT security as a prerequisite for functional security. Yokogawa has found an efficient way to a highly available IT infrastructure, and it starts at the base camp. At the bottom, with organizational measures in your operations, such as access controls or securing hardware with USB locks, for instance. Then, moving on from the base camp, we climb up to secure automation measures and a suitable network architecture. After that, moving further up, we have server and application security, and it extends right through to redundancy, backup strategies, and emergency plans right up at the top. But a concept like this is not enough. It has to be implemented, exercised, applied, monitored, continually updated. And that obviously requires expert people with automation experience. You wouldn't go to your IT department with that. You come to people from Yokogawa. The course we have taken is based on technologies, processes, and experts. We have certified products, systematic tests, and best practices, and these provide the basis for implementation. We have more than 570 security experts worldwide, and they are at the heart of this, and more than 20 of these experts are certified according to the Global Industrial Cybersecurity Professional Criteria, GICSP. And the number of people we have and where they are based is unique in our industry, and it makes us a leader. Together with Cisco Systems, our partner, and our customer Shell, we have developed a comprehensive standardized security solution. Global customers like Shell actually operate other systems apart from Yokogawa, unfortunately. But Secure Plant meets this requirement, and specifically for automation components from many different vendors. This is because automation security of your plant is something that should not be the province of one single automation manufacturer. It is your own responsibility as well. The security status of all connection systems has to be verified continuously in real time and logged, and a team of experts and extensive data resources are available to support the operating personnel 24/7. Secure Plant is a security solution that is in accordance with corporate and IEC standards, and there is a workshop on this, and you'll be able to actually learn about all the various steps leading to this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for bearing with me all this time. I saw that nobody left the hall here. On the way to the Security Summit and automation security, it is essential to actually take the data and generate things for the future beyond the plant. And in the future, things will go further than that. We'll have systems, sites, complete companies which will be growing together in the value chain. They'll all be integrated. Industry 4.0 and the Internet of Things will provide further opportunities for growth. As Yokogawa, we take a very pragmatic approach to this, with solutions that will support users as efficiently as possible at every stage in the evolution. And naturally, we always have our eye on your security and the security of your systems. By we, I mean more than 18,600 employees of Yokogawa in 59 countries around the world. And what still fascinates me after so many years in the automation sector is that in spite of all the high tech, ultimately, it's the people who implement your project successfully. It's people who interact and solve problems, and that it is people whose team spirit results in success. And that is what Yokogawa stands for. Operating globally and managing your projects worldwide, deploying the right technologies and the people with the right qualifications who have in-depth knowledge of your business. Thank you for listening. I'd now like to ask Cross-san to come up to the stage, and he will draw your attention to cloud and consultancy-based services. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Satoru Cross. I'm the Executive Vice President of Yokogawa headquarters.
After the last part of our presentations, I'd like to briefly introduce our latest initiative to expand our business domain beyond traditional process automation. Yokogawa is always eager to enhance value to customers. We do it both by continuous R&D investment and by acquiring leading companies. Earlier this year, we acquired 2 companies, KBC, the largest independent consulting company for process industry, and Industrial Evolution, the pioneer of secure data brokering as a cloud service. I'd like to explain how these acquisitions will contribute to your business. As Andreas-san said, Yokogawa is tackling the market trend involving convergence of operational technology and information technology. As for operational technology, Yokogawa is known for mission-critical system, highly available operation, and long-term performance sustainability. And Yokogawa also provides advanced value for operations management, such as optimized production, predictive analytics, remote services, and collaborative cloud-based solutions. And we are going beyond what others are doing by adding the capability of market-leading business strategy and operation management consulting enabled by the KBC acquisition. With KBC, Yokogawa is able to go further by converging business and physical processes and to offer holistic, comprehensive solutions from business to operation. This will ensure maximum sustainable value for our customers. Using cloud technology we acquired from Industrial Evolution, we are introducing a service based on our service secure industrial cloud and provide KBC expertise to monitor plant performance, sustain technology value, and advise on continuous improvement with worry-free solutions that apply throughout your plant life cycle. This industrial cloud technology also has many that support business collaboration across your value chain. I'll come back later with an example how we can support improving the profitability of a chemical company by this technology. Let me briefly introduce KBC. KBC is a very well-known and respected consulting company, especially upstream oil and gas, refining, and petrochemical markets. Very strong engineering technology and technical consulting, including best-in-class process simulation software, underpins how KBC delivers superior and sustainable results to customers. KBC has a variety of simulation software packages, which includes the multi-flash thermodynamics package, which is used by various leading chemicals companies and considered by many as the best commercially available package in the market. What makes KBC somewhat unique in the holistic nature of our consulting services to achieve operational excellence through strategic planning with simulation technology and various types of solutions in terms of profit improvement, organizational effectiveness, and asset optimization. The logic tree map shows how to achieve value from a customer's perspective. In delivering operational excellence, the green part of the value tree is revenue or production focused, and the red part on cost or efficiency control. And the blue part represents SSHE, or safety, security, health and environmental excellence, and regulatory compliance regarding business sustainability. And KBC has supportive technology that drives efficiency and organizational effectiveness. The combined value added KBC in Yokogawa is reinforced we deliver superior results with the main focus being on sustained return on capital employed. With KBC, our ability to create and sustain value for customers is greatly enhanced. By combining all the pieces, Yokogawa is enhancing our value position as a trusted partner by fulfilling co-pilot role and advising on continuous improvement of your operation. It starts by identifying improvement opportunities, typically using a profit improvement program methodology. We are then able to put the needed enabling technologies and people know-how in place that automate value capture and deploy best practices throughout the organization. Then using our cloud-based capabilities, we can sustain the implemented technology so that they are always ready for use. We can also remotely deploy an expert consultant to review plant operations and advise on how to improve operations. The typical return on this profit improvement program identifies from $10 to $100 million in opportunities. Lastly, I'd like to briefly introduce our industrial cloud solution. Yokogawa's DaaS, Data as a Service, provides unique value for our customers. We have over 750 distinct customers since starting this service in the year 2000, when there's no word like cloud. Being cloud-based, it truly expands our solutions beyond the plant. It can not only help optimize production processes in the plant, but also contribute to the integration, collaboration, and optimization of entire value chain by securely consolidating the flow of plant data within and beyond between companies. For example, in this slide, a chemical company that is our customer. They sell chemical products to their customers around the world. If they know how their customers use their products, they can improve and sell more. Our cloud solution connects the customer with the customer's customers who have different IT environments and show the customers the meaningful information from the plant's data. Yokogawa can provide new value-added cloud-based service to the customers on the product business, such as real-time data monitoring and analytical application as a service. Later on, you will hear the details in the workshop. I have shown some example of our new movement, which is beyond the traditional automation and across the borders. As our CEO, Nishijima-san, said first, we call the collaboration co-innovation. It is about utilizing knowledge of industry and information technology and fostering cooperation that extend across processes, industry sectors, and national boundaries. I believe that Yokogawa can contribute to connecting the world from the production process to the infrastructure that both industry and society depends on. It is through such co-innovation that solutions can be found to fundamental issues that affect our society. Our new slogan, Co-Innovating Tomorrow, represents our wish to make steady progress toward a wonderful future, together with our customers, business partners, and all other stakeholders. Thank you very much, and sincerely hope that Yokogawa can be your trusted partner for the coming 100 years too. Thank you very much for your attention. Dankeschön. Very good.